Imagine a coin that shrugs off market meltdowns, slashes its own supply every quarter, and now has a possible ETF lining up behind it. While everybody's doom-scrolling red candles, BNB's resting at $620, just 26% from its all-time high, and the chart is screaming compression before eruption. Today we'll connect 10 must-see charts and tweets, reveal my 4 take-profit zones up to $1,400, and show exactly why whales are farming triple-digit yields in the Binance ecosystem while casuals sleep. By the end, you'll know the catalyst timeline, the on-chain metrics, and the entry I'm stalking with a surgical stop. Stick around till the finale, because that's when I reveal the framework I use to turn these setups into repeatable passive yield machines. Buckle up. Crypto Twitter woke up bearish this week, except for Swiss traders showing BNB knocking on the golden pocket door. He calls it the stronger coin, and he's not exaggerating. Since the May flush, Bitcoin shaved off 13%, Ethereum lost 20%, and meme rotations bled 40+. BNB? It's down a modest 10%, hugging a year-long trend line like Michael Jordan palming a ball. That strength isn't luck, it's structural. Binance burns tokens, incubates projects, and quietly courts institutions. Retail ignores it because flashy narratives live elsewhere. But smart money loves boring cash flow monsters. Remember, price that doesn't drop in a storm is a coiled spring. Remember that VanEck registered a BNB ETF in Delaware? Skeptics grumble, it's just a trust registration. True, but BlackRock's Bitcoin Spot ETF started as a form filing most laughed off. An ETF, even months away, slams a Wall Street seal on BNB's chest. That matters when compliance desks decide which alt they're allowed to hold. Liquidity begets liquidity, legitimacy begets bid depth. If this filing progresses, every quarter closer to approval adds a new speculative premium. Exactly what juiced Bitcoin pre-ETF. We're early to the narrative curve. Next, I'd like to bring the last Binance quarterly burn, 1.58 million BNB. $916 million evaporated. Elja's follow-up pegs the upcoming burn at another 1.61 million coins. At the current run rate, Binance retires more dollar value per quarter than many layer ones earn in annual fees. It's programmed scarcity with a flamethrower, and it underpins why BNB can rally while liquidity elsewhere feels thin. Burns compress float, ETF speculation expands demand. That's the classic squeeze recipe. Numbers don't bluff. BNB Chain's own dashboard logs 133 million transactions and 4.2 million weekly active users between June 12th to 18th. Mind-boggling throughput. Datai Network ranks the chain's TVL at $20.1 billion, with Venus and PancakeSwap still kings among DeFi powerhouses. Compare that to Solana's $4.8 billion or Avalanche's $1.5 billion. Activity isn't hype. It's sticky fee-generating usage that funds yet more burns, and soon more institutional theses. Why are whales camping here? Lista DAO's strategy sheet spills the beans. Looping BNB can spike effective APRs over 100%, with moderate leverage still clocking 30 to 40%. Meanwhile, new USD1 pools give conservative staking providers 9% plus launchpad exposure. For context, Treasury bills pay 4.9 these days. A chain offering double-digit dollar yields and triple-digit native yields creates buy pressure as farmers cycle rewards back into the asset that powers gas fees. Yep, BNB itself. Picture Iron Man tokenomics. Burn the supply, boost the demand, share the revenue. That flywheel is loud once you hear it. But most retail followers stay deaf until the chart prints new highs. Let's decode it together. Volume profile VRVP. See that fat pink bar clustering around $600? That's 1 year of value, the strongest node since June 2024. Price bouncing here isn't coincidence, it's whales defending cost basis. Trend lines. Yellow resistance from the December spike is converging with a newer descending line. Compression breeds breakouts. We just need a weekly close above $670 to flip the switch. Fibonacci ladder. 236 sits at $560. Also my last-ditch invalidation. Above us, targets at $660, $760, and the extension suite. 1618 at $900, 2618 at $1,150, and 3618 at $1,400. The green circles mark where I plan to peel profits. Heikinashi RSI. Stochastic momentum curled down last week, but it's approaching oversold territory while price sits on support, an opportunity for a classic bullish divergence setup. Right now, I'm nibbling spot between $610 to $625. If we wick into $560 to $580, I'll add aggressively. Invalidation on a weekly close below $560. This is not blind hopium, it's structured risk. Let's be real. BNB isn't immune to macro rug pulls. If the SEC decides to resurrect lawsuits, or if Bitcoin pukes another 20%, correlations drag everything. That's why the dashed red stop exists. My motto, if the story changes, so does my position. I'll trail the stop to the 382 fib at 600 after we reclaim $700, then to break even after 760. Remember Swiss Trader's golden pocket? That pocket intersects my half-fib zone. Two independent models, same battlefield. Markets reward confluence hunters. BNB is quietly grinding. Burns each quarter, ETF chatter growing, DeFi cash flows humming, triple-digit yield loops, and a chart that hasn't broken, only coiled. My thesis, the longer an asset resists gravity, the harder it slingshots once sentiment flips. If that resonates, destroy the like button so the algorithm knows we're adding value. Drop your price target in the comments. Closest guess to BNB's price on the next quarterly burn gets a shout out in the following video. And if you're serious about turning setups like this into a repeatable income stream, everything we covered, staking, on-chain yields, looping stablecoins for double-digit APR, and safeguarding your wallet from hacks, you'll find inside my ebook DeFi, Financial Freedom, the ultimate beginner's guide. At $4.99, it costs less than a coffee. You'll get step-by-step blueprints to choose the safest protocols, harvest rewards tax efficiently, and recycle gains into compounded, risk-adjusted income streams without trading a single chart. The link sits in the pinned comment. Grab it now, automate your cash flow, and let's build sustainable crypto wealth together, starting today. If you enjoyed this deep dive, YouTube thinks you'll love the previous video now popping on your end screen. Click that to stay 3 steps ahead of the herd. Stay curious, stay disciplined, and keep the yield compounding. See you tomorrow.